Hey guys, this is Amit and you're watching Tech Dad. In this video, we are going to compare between OnePlus Nord 2 5G versus Realme X7 Pro. And we will discuss which one is better in camera, performance, display, body of the devices, features, communication chips and about the prices. In the end of the video, I will tell you which one is better according to me. So watch this video till the end. So without wasting any time, let's start the video. Let the comparison start with the camera of the devices. Talking about the rear camera of the devices. Nord 2 have triple camera setup, 50 megapixel of wide camera, 8 megapixel of ultra wide camera and 2 megapixel of macro camera. Whereas X7 Pro comes with quad camera setup, 64 megapixel of wide camera, 8 megapixel of ultra wide camera, 2 megapixel of macro camera and 2 megapixel of depth sensor. So the winner here is X7 Pro because it have quad camera setup which have 64 megapixel of wide camera which can take high resolution of photos. And about the front camera of the devices, Nord 2 have 32 megapixel of wide camera, whereas X7 Pro also has 32 megapixel of wide camera. So it's a tie because both of the devices have same camera module. Let's talk about the camera features of the devices. Nord 2 have dual LED flash, HDR and panorama, whereas X7 Pro have LED flash, HDR and panorama. So the winner here is Nord 2 because it have dual LED flash. And about the video recording options in the devices, Nord 2 can shoot 4K video max at 30 fps, Full HD video max at 240 fps with gyro electronic image stabilization, whereas X7 Pro can record 4K video max at 60 fps, Full HD video max at 120 fps with gyro electronic image stabilization. So without a doubt, the winner here is Nord 2 because it can record Full HD video max at 240 fps. Moving to the performance of the devices, let's start with the operating system of the devices. Nord 2 have Android 11 support. On the other side, X7 Pro have Android 10 support. So the winner here is Nord 2. And about the user interface of the devices, Nord 2 have Oxygen OS, whereas X7 comes with Realme UI. So it's a tie because both of the user interface have different UI. So it's up to you which UI you like it or not, it's up to you. Let's talk about the processor of the devices. Nord 2 is powered by Dimensity 1200 5G based on 6nm processor, whereas X7 Pro is powered by Dimensity 1000 Plus based on 7nm processor. So the winner here is Nord 2 because it have faster processor, which give you faster processing speed. And about the GPU of the devices, Nord 2 is packed with Mali G77, whereas X7 Pro is also packed with Mali G77. So again, it's a tie because both of the devices have same GPU, which gives you same FPS in games. Let's talk about the clock speed of the devices. Nord 2 can clock at 3.0 GHz based on octa-core Cortex chipset, whereas X7 Pro can clock at 2.6 GHz based on octa-core Cortex chipset. So the winner here is Nord 2 because it have faster clock speed. And about the RAM variants in the devices, Nord 2 have two options, 8 and 12 GB, whereas X7 Pro have two options, 6 and 8 GB. So the winner here is Nord 2 because it have bigger capacity of RAM option. Let's talk about the internal storage of the devices. Nord 2 comes with 128 and 256 GB of storage, whereas X7 Pro have 128 and 256 GB of storage. So the winner here is Nord 2 because it have faster read and write speed. And about the external storage of the devices, Nord 2 did not have any card slot, whereas X7 Pro also did not have any. So it's a tie here. Moving to the display features of the devices, let's start with the display size of the devices. Nord 2 have 6.43 inches of display, whereas X7 Pro have 6.55 inches of display. So the winner here is X7 Pro because it have bigger screen size. And about the screen to body ratio of the devices, Nord 2 have approx 85.8%, whereas X7 Pro have 85.8%. So it's a tie because both of the devices have same ratio. Let's talk about the screen resolution of the devices. Nord 2 comes with Full HD Plus display. On the other side, X7 Pro also have Full HD Plus display. So it's a tie. And about the display type of the devices, Nord 2 have Fluid AMOLED display having 90Hz of refresh rate with HDR10 Plus support, whereas X7 Pro have Super AMOLED display having 120Hz of refresh rate. So the winner here is Nord 2 because it have HDR10 Plus support, which gives you more darker black and vivid colors. Moving to the body features of the devices, let's start with the thickness of the devices. Nord 2 have 8.3 mm of thickness, whereas X7 Pro have 8.5 mm of thickness. So it's a tie because both of the devices have approximately the same thickness. Talking about the weight of the devices, Nord 2 have 189 grams of weight, whereas X7 Pro have 184 grams of weight. So the winner here is X7 Pro because it have lighter body weight. And about the protective glass of the devices, Nord 2 have Gorilla Glass 5, whereas X7 Pro have Gorilla Glass 5. So it's a tie because both of the devices have same generation of glass. Let's talk about the build quality of the devices. Note 2 have glass back with plastic frame, whereas X7 Pro have glass back with plastic frame. So it's a tie because both of the devices have solid build quality. And about the SIM options on the devices, both of the devices have dual nano SIM support, so it's a tie. Moving to some of the most important features of the devices, let's start with the fingerprint scanner of the devices. Note 2 have under display fingerprint scanner. On the other side, X7 Pro have under display fingerprint scanner. So it's a tie. And about the sensors in the devices, Note 2 have accelerometer, gyroscope, proximity and compass, whereas X7 Pro have accelerometer, gyroscope, proximity and compass. So it's a tie. Let's talk about the battery capacity of the devices. Note 2 have 4500 mAh of battery capacity, whereas X7 Pro have 4500 mAh of battery capacity. So it's a tie here because both of the devices have same battery capacity. Let's talk about the charging speed of the devices. Note 2 have 65 watts of fast charging, whereas X7 Pro have 65 watts of fast charging. So it's a tie because both of the devices have approximately the same charging speed. Let's talk about the loudspeaker of the devices. Note 2 comes with stereo speakers, whereas X7 Pro have stereo speakers. So it's a tie. And about the headphone jack of the devices, Note 2 did not have any 3.5mm of headphone jack, whereas X7 Pro also did not have. So it's a tie. Moving to the communication chips in the devices, starting with the WLAN of the devices. Both of the devices comes with Wi-Fi AC, dual band Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi direct and hotspot, whereas X7 Pro have 6th generation of Wi-Fi which provides more coverage area and more speed. So the winner here is X7 Pro. And about the Bluetooth version of the devices, Note 2 have 5.2 generation of Bluetooth, whereas X7 Pro have 5.0 generation of Bluetooth. So the winner here is Note 2 because it have newer generation of Bluetooth. Let's talk about the positioning chips in the devices. Note 2 have dual band AGPS, GLONASS, Galileo, BDS and the other chips. And X7 Pro have AGPS, Galileo, BDS and Quizzes. So the winner here is Note 2 because it have many chips. And about the USB connectivity of the devices, Note 2 comes with 2nd gen of Type-C connector with OTG support, whereas X7 Pro have 2nd gen of Type-C connector. So the winner here is Note 2. Moving to the price of the devices in the international market, starting range of Note 2 is around $300 whereas X7 Pro is available from $380. And in the Indian market, Note 2 have starting range from 28,000 rupee, whereas X7 Pro is available from 27,500 rupee. So the conclusion of the video is, in the camera, the winner here is X7 Pro. In the performance, the winner here is Note 2. In the display, the winner here is Note 2. In the body segment, it's a tie. In the features of the device, it's a tie. In the communication chips, the winner here is Note 2. And about the prices, the winner here is Note 2. So the decision is totally yours. Which device you like the most so far, and let me know in the comment below. What do you think, which device is better for you? So thank you guys for watching this video. If you like our content, please like our video, share this video and subscribe to our channel. Comment what's your thought in the comment below. If you're watching this video on Facebook, please like our page TechDad. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, here's my Instagram ID on the screen. This is Amit and I will see you guys in the next one. Till then, bye.